Hi there, my name's Tom, and today's video is about separating the art from the artist. Um, I'm doing this because it keeps coming up in my various feeds on social media, because Hulk Hogan has managed to become socially relevant again, at least a little bit. And yeah, I'm 100% on board with this idea of separating the art from the artist. And to first illustrate this, I would like to talk about Alice Cooper. You know, he's a musician, been around since the 70s, shock rocker. He's been doing it a very long time. And, like you go to his show, and, there'll more than likely be leather whips and chains and other naughty things, and they're putting on a great show, and then somebody like the band photographer or somebody gets in the way or annoys him, or a roadie, somebody on stage screws up, and he murders that particular stagehand or photographer or somebody. He kills someone, and then he resurrects that person, brings them back to life as an 8 foot tall monstrosity. He gets committed, manages to break out of his straitjacket, usually ends up killing several orderlies and sometimes Nurse Cheryl. And he gets put to death by guillotine. But he somehow manages to come back, always, and continues to perform because he is this super maniacal musical villain. It's important to remember that Alice Cooper is not a real person. He's a fictional character, much like SpongeBob SquarePants. The guy's real name is Vince. And, yeah, he's had, a little bit of a crazy life when he was younger. He ended up going sober. And, he's a charismatic and generally kind and very philosophical kind of person. Um, all around general good dude. I've never known of anybody who complains about him as a person. There's pearl clutching about the music. Oh my God, Satanism. But it's not. In fact, Satan doesn't play into it at all. But, Satanic Panic was a thing. And the real person, nobody's ever had a problem with the real person, not since, like, I think the 70s or maybe 80s. All right, so we've separated the art from the artist. And now we'll try to do it with Hulk Hogan, who also at one point was Hollywood Hogan. He was a face, meaning a hero, a good guy. Eventually, I think during his WCW career was the first time he turned heel and became a bad guy. Joined the New World Order even, and they beat up Macho Man Randy Savage with Slim Jims. It was quite entertaining. And even as a heel, the fans loved him. Why? Because we grew up loving him. I was a child in the 80s. His big thing was like train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself and true to your country. Be a real American, right? And when you're like 5 or 6 or 7, you're watching that, and you're watching his Saturday morning cartoon because he had one. That's what you grow up with, and Hulk Hogan's a hero to you. Now it's time to separate the fictional character, who has more in common with SpongeBob SquarePants than reality, from Terry Bollea. Because who is Terry Bollea? Well, we'll start out as an avid drug user because you don't get those muscles from protein shakes. In fact, it's not even a secret anymore with professional wrestling. And not that it was a very well kept secret to begin with. He was the sort of person who would stab his friend in the back and turn snitch when his friend was looking to organize and create a a group contract and form a better life for himself and the other pro wrestlers. He did that because it got him paid more. You know, go back to WrestleMania 3, he was paid more money than all of the other wrestlers there combined. Why? Because he was a snitch. Scab. Um, let's see. So he's, the most well paid drug addict at that time. Uh, so then we can move on to things much more recent. Well, he's an overt racist. We know he is because we heard the words come out of his mouth. And when somebody tells you who they are, you should believe them. What else? I'm just gonna say he's not the most successful family man. Family life, he wasn't good at it. And last but not least, he makes poor choices and does dumb things. And when it gets caught up by the media, he will file slap suits, lawsuits that have absolutely no merit, and try to use his fortune to make people crumble and to try to bankrupt them. Basically, it's like, I know I can't win this lawsuit, but I'm rich and you're not, and you can't afford to defend yourself against me in court. So he's that kind of a bully too. So it's important to remember Hulk Hogan doesn't actually exist. That person doesn't exist. Terry Bollea does. You can have your hero, but understand that hero hasn't been around in a couple of decades. That ended a long time ago. And now you're left with a sad old man, a broken family, and just a general attitude of, what are you going to do about it? He can do what he wants. And screw you. Well, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day.